Today, we're going to dive into a piece of ancient wisdom, a simple story that I think holds the key to unlocking real, profound, lasting change. It's an idea that might just completely redefine how you look at your biggest, most ambitious goals.
But first, let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're just spinning your wheels, wasting precious time chasing after quick fixes and instant results, only to end up frustrated and right back where you started? If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then you are definitely in the right place.
You see, at the very heart of this problem is something we can call the tyranny of the immediate. And it's this powerful, almost invisible force in our modern world that quietly sabotages our best intentions and our biggest dreams.
I mean, just think about it for a second. We are completely surrounded by a culture of speed, right? We've got one-click orders, we can binge watch entire shows in a weekend, and our feeds are just flooded with these instant success stories. This whole environment has conditioned us to believe that any meaningful change should happen just as fast. And let me tell you, that belief is a trap.
This need for speed, this impatience, it has a really high cost. It leads to burnout and frustration when things, inevitably don't happen overnight. And even when we do get some quick results, they're often superficial. They don't last. And that pushes us right into the impatience trap, where we start avoiding the slow, steady, essential work required to build something that truly matters.
So if going faster isn't the answer, then what is? Well, let's explore an ancient secret together. It's a totally different way of thinking that finds its power not in some huge burst of intensity, but in simple persistence.
And here is the core idea, the heart of it all. The real secret isn't in speed, it's found in rhythm and persistence. It's a philosophy that's just perfectly captured in a really powerful metaphor.
I want you to meet the Stonecutter. For our purposes, this craftsman is our guide. They're a master of patient, deliberate, and consistent effort. And believe me, their work teaches us a profound lesson about how to achieve what often feels impossible.
So, let's break down the Stonecutter's wisdom. First, there's patience. He doesn't expect the stone to crack on the first hit. For us, that means understanding that true growth is just a series of small, consistent efforts. Then there's rhythm. He strikes the same spot over and over. This teaches us that consistency is so much more powerful than intensity. Next, persistence. He keeps going, knowing that the force is building up with every single strike. And that's where we learn that the cumulative effect of our small habits is what leads to those massive results. And finally, that brings us to profound change. That final dramatic crack in the stone, it's not a sudden event. It's the result of all the previous unseen, invisible work that came before it.
So imagine, the stonecutter might hit that rock 999 times and see absolutely nothing happen. Not a chip, not a crack. Were those strikes a waste of time? Absolutely not. Every single one was essential. Each strike was weakening the stone, preparing it for that one final breakthrough moment.
Okay, it's a powerful metaphor, right? But the real question is, how do we actually apply this to our own lives? This is where we get into a pretty counterintuitive way of thinking. So let's walk through a really practical framework for putting the Stonecutter's patience into action.
The Stonecutter's wisdom really boils down to 3 simple, actionable steps. First, establish your rhythm. Second, trust the unseen strikes. And third, schedule the next strike. Let's dig into each of these.
All right, step 1, establish your rhythm. This is your foundational daily action, and the absolute key here is sustainability. This is not about some huge, exhausting effort that you can only do once a week. It's about a small, consistent action that you can genuinely commit to every single day.
Now, step 2 might just be the hardest part of all of this. You have to trust the unseen strikes. This requires you to accept that most of your daily work, most of your effort is going to feel, well, uneventful. You won't see immediate results. But you have to remember, you're not just doing a task, you are accumulating force.
Let's look at how this plays out. Day 1, you do some initial research. It feels like tiny progress. Day 2, you talk to a colleague, make a minor tweak. Day 3, you do some small, repetitive task that feels totally insignificant. But all along, that invisible force, that cumulative effect is building. Then, maybe on day 4, you have a breakthrough. That sudden crack in the problem, it wasn't sudden at all. It was the direct result of all that quiet, unseen work you put in before.
And that brings us to step 3, schedule the next strike. This is so important. Don't leave your progress up to chance or motivation. Treat your rhythm, your daily action, like a non-negotiable appointment with yourself. Put it in your calendar. Make your commitment real. So here's the real takeaway. Committing to this slow, persistent process isn't a detour, and it's definitely not a waste of time. It is the most reliable, most certain path to achieving profound and lasting change.
And it leaves us with this incredible idea. The difference between the people who achieve their biggest goals and those who don't, it's often not a difference in talent or resources. It's a difference in rhythm and patience.
So I'll leave you with this question. I want you to forget about cracking the whole stone tomorrow. Just focus on the process. Focus on one small thing. What will be your next strike